בסדר, שום בעיה. את רוצה שאני אעצור?
לא, הנה אני רואה פה, למה, הנה זה, בסדר, דווקא חשובה לנו. טוב, אני עוברת להתחלה. זה הסוף, סליחה, קפץ יותר מדי. למה התמצאות בכיתה הווירטואלית, מה זה קשור אליי?
את רוצה אני יכול להסביר, אם לא אנחנו נדלג ישר למצגת שלך.
כן, מה אני צריכה את המתמטיקה הזאת?
לא, בסדר, אלא אם כן מישהו רוצה ללמוד על התוכנה ולדעת בדיוק איך משתמשים ואת כל הדברים.
למה הם רוצים ללמוד על התוכנה? הוא כבר פה, וגם אני רואה את הוויקטוריה הזאת, אני זוכרת שהיא הייתה גם בסשן הקודם.
בסדר, גמור, אפשר
גם עברתי אביב? כן. לא, עשיתי משהו עם דיאלוג מצמידים לי פעם, לא, עשיתי דיאלוג מצמיד, אני זוכרת.
לא היה באילומינאית אפה?
לא בצורה הזאת, לא. לא בצורה הזאת. 10. יופי, זה מצוין. יפה. אז איך עכשיו? יפה. בנקודה הזאת אני רוצה... עידו?
אני שומע כל הזמן.
אוקיי. עידו, תגיד לי, איך אתה זוכר שבשקף הזה, סלייד 10, אני רוצה לעבור הישר לאתר?
אני אראה לך בדיוק איך אני עושה את זה. את יכולה לעשות את אותו דבר, אני תכף אראה לך.
טוב.
תוכלי לכבות שנייה את המיקרופון, אני אסביר. יש כאן כפתור למעלה בטולס, למעלה של כדור הארץ, את רואה אותו? ואז אני מכניס את הכתובת URL לאן שאני רוצה לאביב, וזה פותח לי ישירות את האתר אינטרנט של אביב. כמובן עם הכתובת הייחודית שלו.
אז אתה עושה את זה כלינק ישיר עכשיו?
אין לי בעיה, אני רק, עכשיו זה יפתח אוטומטית לכולם את האתר אינטרנט. ואת רוצה רק בנקודה הזאת, אז רק בנקודה הזאת אני אפתח אותו.
אז אתה תעשה את זה.
כן, אין שום בעיה.
אוקיי, אז אתה תעמוד איקון. עכשיו, מאחר ואתה שם לב שיש לי רק משתתפת אחת ונראה לי שלא יהיו לי הרבה יותר, אז זה ילך מהר העתק הזה, כי לא תהיה אינטראקציה, לא יהיה לי מי לדבר. אז זה יזרום.
אין שום בעיה.
טוב, אז אתה תעמוד באיקון מוכן.
אין בעיה.
טוב, אז אני מעבירה את עצמי להתחלה.
יהודי, תודה.
תודה. ואנחנו מוכנים ומזומנים לשעה 3. אז בינתיים אני רק אעשה טלפון אחד ברשותך. טוב?
בטח.
טוב.
עידו, אתה שכחת את הטלפון שלך פה אצלנו?
טוב לדעת.
כן, מה יש לך על השומר מסך? הוא גפלצת על המחשב?
כן, כן.
אז הוא פה לילדים.
שנייה, אני בא לקחת אותו. כן, אני בא.
אוקיי, ביי. מה?
Okay, shall we begin? Victoria, are you listening? Are you here with us? Victoria? ציונה נמתין. Yes. Yes, sure. Okay, Eti. Hello. There's not so many people to say hello to, unfortunately. Victoria, first we will wait a few more minutes because Eti asked to wait, so we are waiting, okay? Victoria, in the meantime, maybe I should ask you a few questions. Is that okay with you? Great. If I remember correctly, this is not the first time here with me. Am I recollecting correctly? Okay. Yes. Great. So I take it that the first session was beneficial for you, and now you want to learn about Aviv. Which classes do you teach? Great. And Ben Zvi is a good high school, right? I mean, you have strong students, 4 and 5 points mainly. Okay. I'm asking all these questions since you're my only student at the moment, or my only teacher, because I've been thinking, of course you can speak into the microphone. That would be better.
Yeah, okay. Hello, ציונה.
Oh, great. The reason I'm asking all these questions, one second, Victoria, when I speak, you have to close the microphone, because if not, we'll have a terrible echo. Okay? So, when you speak, I close the microphone, and vice versa. Great. So what I was about to say is that I picked Module B to show you what work we do with it, because it's a very nice and intriguing unit, and a very good model of what we do in Aviv, but I could actually pick others as well. Do you have an audience for Module B in general, maybe for Moed Bet or in general?
I do, but not this year.
Okay, that's good. So you can learn about it and enjoy it for other purposes, even if not for this year. Unless you want, because we're prepared for B, I thought I would have more people interested. But I think you'll get the idea from this model.
Hello, ציונה. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. What are you saying? I lost you.
Can you hear me, ציונה?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah. So I'm saying that I'm open to all the ideas, because even if I'm not teaching Module B this year, I might teach next year, so it will be interesting.
I'm sorry, you didn't hear. I said that I'm happy you joined us here at OAT again, and I'm sure it will be an enlightening experience for you to see what wonderful work can be done with a simple text, and not only doing an empty, I would say even a boring unseen, but something that the students can enjoy actively.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
So, Eti, אפשר להתחיל? Okay, so Eti gave us permission to start. I guess we have no other candidates. So we can go quickly through the introduction and into the module, which you will see. I want to show you, first of all, the rationale and the opening of the Aviv program. This is just for you to get acquainted with the virtual classroom. We're not interested in math, so I'll go quickly through this. You already know the program, since this is not your first time. So I'm moving quickly through it. Okay? At the end, you will give us some feedback on what you think of this experience and what you learned. I'm moving quickly through this part because it is this interesting. And here we are on the main page of the Aviv through the old site. As you can see, the code in which you use to get is Libam 10 for both, and that shouldn't be difficult to remember. Aviv, you can also go directly through the main address, http://aviv.org.il. Various ways to get into it, or through the old site where it says Aviv, and there is a logo. A logo for the Aviv program, and that's this nice flower here. Wherever you see it, you know you're connected to Aviv. And the connection that we're doing here is using it for Libam. That is the context of this session, but basically it's good for all health lessons, all end-of-the-day lessons, whenever you want to add more practice for students, for weaker students, for more advanced students, whenever you have a special context where you have students not occupied in the regular way, in the straightforward, unseen way, I would say even, then you can use the Aviv modules. And what do we have on the Aviv modules? Okay, this is the main page of Aviv. So just by looking at the main page, what you see is we have now 4 modules that are virtual courses ready to be used. And the tools that lead or guide the students while working is the dictionary, of course, and reading, translation, finding a word, hinting, know to learn. If you see these symbols, then, or the student gets used to these symbols, then he knows what to use. And what the issues that we practice are unseen, obviously, but we didn't want to use only reading strategies. We also added some writing tips based on what the module is comprised of. Different tools, but more, the biggest advantage is that students get an immediate feedback and can interact with the text in a very interesting way. And if you join the Aviv forum, or if the students join the Aviv forum with your guidance, then you can even get immediate responses that are much more lively from a teacher, from you as a teacher. But that even is not necessary, because the courses have so much to offer as is. Okay, so let's see what each module has to offer, or what we call each virtual course. By the way, do you have any questions, something that is unclear, just stop me, and because I can hear you. Okay, each module is who is raising a question? Okay, what's the question? Who has a question? 1 of 5 hands raised. Victoria, please ask your question. What's the question? Are you raising your hand? Victoria? She's out of the program.
Out of the program.
So am I speaking to someone that is listening? Or am I teaching Eti? Am I teaching you, Eti?
עכשיו היא תצטרך להיכנס מחדש.
טוב, אני אחכה לה. כמה דקות. התלמידה היחידה שלי הלכה. זה נהיה פה מעניין מרגע לרגע. השאלה אם היא תיכנס. אולי שהיא אמרתי אותה. אולי יש טייטי, לפעמים קצת משחקים משהו, קודם גם היא הרימה יד, זה לא שאלה שום שאלה, נראה לי שפשוט תעשה. טוב, אז בואי נמשיך לדבר. נזכור אותו.
הנה היא חזרה.
Hello, ציונה. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, Victoria, are you with us?
I'm very sorry. Yeah, we lost the connection. We're disconnected.
Okay, so we're in the middle of the interesting part of Aviv, where I was presenting what each module has to offer. They all have the same features, but each module has whatever the Bagrut requires. But the features are more or less the same. So if you get to know one module, you get to know the principle of how to operate them all. So as you can see, we have, of course, reading, writing, and listening. And task is an exact replica of what the Bagrut test demands. And at the end of each module, there is, or at the end of each practice task, there is a practice of one of the texts that we know as considered to be unseen, but they're not an unseen anymore so much. They actually have been learned, and you can take something extra to practice. And what is very nice, and what the great advantages of these is, and actually what I'm very proud of, is the fact that we have a vocal element to this, and we have a reading for each module, for each text. So students who have even the need to be read to, they have that as a practice. So that's very, very convenient. Okay. So this is the summary of the main issues. We have a unit of instruction, and you can see it's a unit of instruction. We have a summarizing task that is exactly like the Bagrut, and then if you choose, then you can send it to somebody who can check the work for the student, but that's only if you register officially to it. You don't need to do it. Each unit of reading is comprised of 3 parts: pre-reading, improving your English, where they learn whatever the units can offer, if it's vocabulary or grammar, and then some kind of a summary to see what they have what the student has learned from this experience, from this reading experience. And you can see it in the toolbar here on the side. You have each text with the writing. Now, you may be, are you familiar with UPP Publishing House, Victoria? Victoria? Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry, I missed your answer. Okay, so if you remember, they used to have, Victoria, you can close your microphone. Okay, so if you remember, one of the first unseen books is not relevant anymore because there's so many new ones on the market. So we had an agreement with UPP that they would give us their text, and therefore you may recognize some of them if you use them in the past. Anyway, here, this is what the students can do. They can listen to the unseen, and here is the text. And of course, they have a Word file, which they can look at it in a different format. They can actually, the idea is that they can look at the text in different ways, or be exposed to the text in different ways. Okay, now, if we look at this example, Dizzy's complaint, she complains about something, and the format that she complains is, of course, a letter. In this case, it's a formal letter, even though it's module B, but that's the text type. So what she does what we do is we expose the students to what it means to write a letter, and what the letter is for, etc. And you can see how it's done. And they write their answer. It's very obvious because we want to expose them to the schema, or the world knowledge that is connected to the text. In this case, we're talking about a letter format. And then they get to know, they get to be prepared for the text, main vocabulary and main concepts that appear in the text. What is Dizzy actually saying, or what is your complaint? So we don't leave it in the format of a text. We try to make it more relevant and more easier for the student to read as an independent reader. So for example, we have all kinds of guiding questions that students write, and with a very nice picture here that can be interesting, much more than the regular text that you see all the time. Notice that we also have the concepts highlighted: consumer, complaint, division. These are all concepts that maybe the student is not aware of. And there's a bank of words on the bottom in this case, because we are speaking about B students, very weak, or in the beginning of 3 points. Okay? Here they match and get the right answer. And as we said, at the end of each unit, after they study and learn, they have a summary task, which is exactly like the Bagut. After they are prepared, here again, what's special about the Aviv modules is that they can also, as we said, upload their answer keys to the site, and also see their answer keys and see and compare their answers to the final answer key. Okay, and now I'm actually ready to show you a unit. So Ido, are you with me?
Yes.
Yofi. Excellent. So can you take us to the module, to the model module?
Yeah.
Okay, we're waiting patiently. Victoria, are you okay? Do you have questions? Anything that might be of interest to you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Hello, ציונה, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, please, this code that you mentioned. The code that you mentioned in the very beginning of the session, Libam 10. I can actually go to the site and enter the code and use the materials with my students. Oh, that's
the idea. That's
really
that
great.
Each student,
I did it before we started.
That's the idea. That each student, you give them a password. You give them a password, and you start working. You can send them also to do it on their own at home.
Oh, that's really great. That's wonderful. I actually, before we started the Libam course in Kiryat Ono, I entered the site and I used the material that was for free there. This was one of the units from UPP Module E. And it was very, very good. And I just took this system of reading and post-reading with my students, and it really worked, and they were very happy.
Okay, I'm happy with the feedback. So if it's okay with you, I'll show you one of the modules. I just prepared myself to show Module B, so I'll just take you through a unit from the beginning to end. But have you noticed how I went into Aviv, so it's clear to you? Okay, this is the main page. I go into Module B, and I picked here rainforests. Okay? So here, this is where I am. Notice, here I'm putting in Libam 10. Why do I have to do this? I don't know now. Libam 10. Here we are. Rainforest in short. Look at the nice picture. They can also listen to the text as we said, remember? And here we have to get the students familiar with the concept of rainforest, because they may not know what it is, even though the text is about it. And this is the text itself. But now we want to get ready. So they can either jump pre-reading here from the toolbar, or they can just do next. And here is the pre-reading. So besides being colorful and interesting, We see, we get to know what the text is about, what you know about ecology, a concept that appears in the text. And here we have a multiple choice question that let's say ecology is living things in an environment. Here, check, great. So they get immediate feedback. Matches words connected with ecology to their meaning. Here we drag words that appear in the text and also explain the concept. So if I want to do, let's say this, let's see what happens if I make some mistakes. Oh, I made too many mistakes. It's a problem here. But let's see what happens if I do make a mistake and I'm a weak student. Okay, part of answer, try again. So what we have here is that students have to try it again and see what can work for them. So let's do it correct this time. Oh, this is good. Machalos is good. Okay, let's see what happens now. Wait, I know why it doesn't work. It takes time to facilitate it. Anyway, but this is the idea. Text from what type of text this is. Also, we try to learn the text type. Obviously, it comes from an encyclopedia. It's the right answer. And here we go on and on to get familiar with the concept. Then we move into the first paragraph. Paragraph 1 tells us, and of course they have to go back to the text and read what it is about. They write whatever it is and then they check. In this case I didn't write anything in, so I don't have the correct answer. Okay, and this is how it goes on and on. I finished preparing myself for the main idea of each paragraph. I move on into, let's see what happens, to improve their English, improve your English. And here we have parts of the text that are highlighted and to try and see what we can learn. For example, in this case, we're learning something that is connected to connectors. These are, and we trying to understand the connector that is used here also, and in another way. And here we have the opportunity to see what it's about. Very good, I got the right answer. And we have a tip here. The words also and another are important. They tell us that we have to look for two things in the text. Drugs that fight disease and illnesses. Okay, the idea is here. In this case, I got the wrong answer. So what's nice here that we also get an explanation what it really means, why the student made the mistake. And it goes on and on. Here we are again, another dragging activity. The words that mean the same. World, here it goes this way. World, means van, different kinds. So we also have the explanation, and we have what did I do wrong? It's correct. Ah, very good. Came out to be very good. Okay, and here we are explaining all the words that appear in the text, but we also have some kind of an expansion. Here it's the expansions of the adjectives, more, and the difference between more and most, est and er, etc. Because this comes out of the text, which is insects are the most numerous animals in the rainforest. We also want to summarize what they got from this activity, and we see which sentences are true, and again, they check themselves, what they learned, what's the main idea of that example that we just have gone through. Here we're learning more about the concept that appears in the text, about rainfall, temperature, and all the rest. And here we go on and on, the same idea. I'm sure this is something that students will enjoy. Juki, cockroaches, etc., etc. Yetushim are mosquitoes, and also connect to the picture. So you even have here some world knowledge. I'm not even sure I know all this, as a matter of fact. I'm not sure. This is an ant, I assume, and this is a cockroach, etc., etc. So if we check, I'm sure we'll, oh, I got it even right. It was a nice guess. Okay, we're moving on to the last part. What did I learn? So I worked with the text. Again, students can go back and forth to the text all the time. And here we say, what can we learn more about the rainforest in, where can I learn more about? A grammar book? No. A music? An encyclopedia, of course. And I go on and on to expand on the world knowledge. Okay? We also taught them about adjectives in this unit. Small, smaller, the smallest. Here, this is what we learned. Smallest, smaller, etc., etc. Check. This is correct. So what's nice about this is that it's partial. Even they get credit for partial answers. So that's good that they, even if they stop in the middle. The next part is the writing part. Remember, Module B has a writing text. Victoria, are you still with me, or did I bore you to death? Ah, okay, great. Essie, what did you write? Okay, בסדר, we're okay. Where am I? The last part. Yes. כן, אתי.
ציונה.
כן, ויקטוריה או אתי?
אתי, אני לא מדברת באנגלית.
אוקיי, אתי. מה השאלה? Okay, so the last part of the good requirement in Module B is a writing task, and here we're offering to write the same type, but to use clues and tips that we can help them learn to become independent writers on that level. So here we have words that they might need for the task. The task, Elizabeth, an American tourist, helps Alon, her Israeli cousin, with his English lessons. In his last test, he got 100. He's writing a thank you note to Elizabeth. So actually, whenever we have a thank you note, you can refer back to Module B in this case, which is a very good practice of how to write a thank you note, something that appears on this level. So here we are teaching them words for a thank you note. Okay, so I'm writing to, in this case, Elizabeth. Where's Elizabeth? I'm writing to help. What is this? I'm writing English. Why can't I have to type it in. Forgot what I have to do. See, I have to be focused all the time. And so what we have here is that we type the words in according to the word bank, and then we have a check to see whether the answers are correct. Okay? But the words come from the top here from the word bank. And something also very, very important is the spelling. We're working here also on words, for example, that they might need for this type, for this task, and that appear in the requirement, or can appear in the requirement. So here we have the let's see if I wrote it correctly. No, I didn't. You see, I have the U because I'm not used to this keyboard, unfortunately. So I make spelling mistakes. Let's see if I'm correct. Now I can't accept. Let's try something else. Wonderful. No, again I made a mistake. Wonderful. Check. Yes, that was a good answer. Great. So here in this writing task, or this practice task, we learned two things. We learned the format of the thank you note, and we learned how to spell very important words. Grateful, easy, difficult, and wonderful. Words that they will always need. Okay, and here we have the final task. That was the preparation task, and here we have the final task that they have to write. And now you can decide whether you demand as a teacher to get their work, which could be very good. And if not, you can have them print it out and hand it to you, or send it to you if you do choose to work with LMS. So at the end we have a final page at the end of each unit, a final task, where they have completed all the preparation, and now they can actually do the questions because they have prepared themselves for it. and they can use colors, and they can use different fonts to work on the text. And for those users that are using LMS, which is learning from a distance system, then they can send it to the teacher through the system. But of course, that's not the requirement, only if you like that type. And you can see here the text. No, we don't have that. Excuse me. This is what I wanted to show you. Let's see if the text exists. What happens? What happens? Here it is. You see? This is the task, the text and the questions that appear in the original, where they have to prepare themselves. Okay, so let's see what we have. So I'm going back to the main page. What we had here is we had a summary of all the different elements, and I'm just jumping through. What did I learn? What did I do wrong?
אמרו לי שהם לא רואים התלמידים את האתר.
איך הם לא רואים?
עכשיו במצגת.
אוקיי.
כבר מסדרת את כל הבעיות.
You didn't see, but Victoria didn't complain. Okay, I'll go backwards then to the site. כן, בסדר. כן. זה רק הייתה אתי שהתלוננה. ויקטוריה ראתה. ויקטוריה, you with me?
כאן. זה רק אם אתם רוצות לצאת לאתר ולהראות דברים שם.
Okay, we got the idea.
Great.
Oh, great. She opened it herself. Victoria, you're an excellent student. Thank you so much. So that means that it's simple. Great, great. So we can skip all these pages because this is a summary. I use it as a backup if I was afraid I may not have the opportunity to show it all to you. So we're actually at the end of our session here. That's all. So what I've asked you to do, please, is to first of all notice that you have a support system if you want to use it and you find any kind of problem. And what else? And if you don't mind, to fill in the feedback form that Ido will explain to you exactly how to do it. Okay? בסדר? So here you have your opinion. Ido, אתה רוצה להמשיך מכאן?
כן, אני כבר אשים לכם את הקישור שתוכלו לענות את המשוב ואת הכל.
טוב. You're most welcome, Victoria. It was a pleasure to be with you again, and I hope we have other opportunities to work together. Okay? Good luck with whatever you do, and if you do more bet or next year, you're most welcome to use Aviv. And here you have the feedback form. Okay?
כרגע גם שמתי לינק שתוכלו לענות על משוב, על איך היה לכם והכל, וגם שיתפתי את הלינק כדי שתוכלו לענות אם במקרה וזה נפתח.
Victoria, you're the only student that you're the only teacher, we need your feedback.
I definitely will. Okay, don't worry. I'm going to do it just now. Thank you, Tia.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
ציונה, לסגור? ויקטוריה?
כן, אני פה, אני מסיימת.
אוקיי, כי אני סוגר.
אוקיי, בסדר גמור, אני סיימתי.